Cool drink. I don't know why that happened.
Drop back 10 and punt. Try again.
Okay.
Yeah, seems legit.
Kind of had to.
Sometimes brains roll what?
So, yeah.
Yeah, just throw the microwave into reverse and put a drink in there.
Sometimes brains are stupid. Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, well, a small town several days north of Nelforge, the West Road Gateway. Yep, we're still in Cephaleville. And the group is getting to know a few more of the neighbors.
Yep.
Good times.
Candace Lavenel, the girl you saved from her father and who became Countess to get sent out here, well away from the family home, which, of course, had some unpleasant memories.
We ditched it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Her mother isn't the Countess? Or is her mother the Dowager Countess now?
Her mother is now the Dowager Countess. The title has been passed properly to Candace on the assumption that since she was supposed to die in order to give Count Lavenel the title, that would be the best way to thwart Devil's plans.
Yep.
That makes a certain kind of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's an okay consolation prize.
Weird way. Your dad sucked, but hey, level up.
Exactly. You get to skip the line. Cool.
Yeah, her mother was a baroness before she married the count.
Right.
So there was, it could be argued, a certain amount of line theft there, but let's not get into that right now. Right now, Candace Lavenel is settling into her new Cephaleville estate.
Yes.
The few workmen she brought with her to help her settle in have their hands full. Andros is getting to know the town, and the handyman and gardener have their hands full, renovating the place and moving everything around. And Candace, during that whole episode up the hill with the Phantom Fishmen and that sorcerer dude, during that, Candace insists that there was someone at her window.
Mm-hmm.
She's not perfectly sure of that, and she doesn't want to make trouble for that reason, but yeah, she's basically invited whoever wants to stay in the house to do so.
It's time, I think, to inspect the outdoor windowsill.
Mm-hmm. Probably not a bad idea. So where are people this fine morning? Actually, you had a morning visit with Candace Lavenel and one particular resident of the town.
Yeah.
Vanya Celebre. A sort of peasant matriarch of the town. Oh, yes. Yes, you have had a long rest. Vanya Celebre, sort of the peasant matriarch of the town.
He was a bitch.
The village elder.
Yes. Yes, everyone gets back up to full healing. New spells as you wish.
Full all this stuff except perhaps if you'd spent all your hit dice healing during short rests. I think you only get half of those back every day.
Well, still, you might not get into a fight every day.
Wow, that's a day wasted. Let's up our game here. We're
because a day without sunshine is like night.
Night.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not getting in enough fights around here.
So we are at the what is it, a manor or a
castle? Or...
It's essentially Cephalville Manor, which is the home of the noble in Cephalville. And the noble in this case, Julie and Candace Lavenel.
Mm-hmm. So it's a big house with big windows and decorated facade, right?
Yep.
So
It would be a shame.
easy to climb.
Well, maybe not that well curated, but Loudrum is working on getting the plants climbing the trellises, and Kentok is working on getting the trellises.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's going outside and looking?
I'm
coming with.
Well, my wisdom is one of the lowest in the party, I think. So that makes my perception rolls pretty bad. I think maybe I should stand back and let other people deal with it.
Oh, it was your idea.
Yes, it was your idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, it was my idea, but I shouldn't be the one to do it.
Yeah, okay, but you should be the one to take the credit if we find something.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be doing that no matter what people agree to.
My wisdom is even lower, so I think it's a good idea for me to look. I am, after all, proficient in something I suck at.
I will look because noticing stuff is my jam.
Oh, you have jam now?
That's true.
There's a gold coin a quarter mile that way. Yeah, basically.
So yeah, let's go look and see if there's some footprints or clues.
Cigarette stubs.
Dropped driver's license, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Lots and lots of peanut shells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
then we'll just have to find out who the only person in the surrounding 20 counties is who buys peanuts.
Well,
and if there's an infant in a basket out there, you know, whoever it was babysitting at the time and is rather absent-minded.
Yep.
Well, I only have a 6 on an investigation check, so I don't expect that I will find much that is helpful.
But you're actually going to go out there and make the effort, make the roll.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was my result. It was a 6. That was my modifier. That was my result.
6.
No, my modifier is 0.
I'm going to investigate as well. Oh, and I get to a spectacular 9.
Ooh.
That's
17.
50% more. Holy.
I'm just going to use my passive 17.
Once more, Chili lives up to expectations.
I got 20.
Oh, nice.
Meanwhile, all these dang spellcasters they're good investigation checks.
Which is funny because I don't have it, but...
Okay, well, here's the thing. You had Tess out there looking. You had Argyle out there looking. You had Jilly sort of walking around back there, and she has those little feet. So you had a number of footprints there around the window, kind of obscuring what there was to find there. But a little ways out, through the grass and the sod that Loudrum laid down yesterday, you can find some footprints.
Yay!
They go in both directions, toward the window and away.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same boots or shoes or whatever, or could it be two separate people who came up to the window and then left, or did someone come up to the window, then leave, and then come back to the window from another direction and then leave?
All those are possibilities.
Well, you do actually find more than one set of footprints going to and from the window, but one looks older. So this is one person who has made multiple trips to that window.
Oh.
Oh,
Right.
I'm not down with that.
Well done.
Are the prints deeper going away or going towards the house? So did the person bring stuff or take away stuff?
They look about the same depth.
I would be impressed if you
So
could tell
if-
that just by looking.
Yeah, so if he brought or took anything away, the depth is so infinitesimally different as to be negligible.
This is creepy.
Yeah.
Are they?
Which is
are they-
what here says.
Or
Mhm.
So
Pardon?
what size?
so it's like a boot or a shoe or something or a sandal instead of a footprint.
Right. It is definitely a shoe print. Boots, even in this time period, will have distinctive tread in order to help grip on the ground.
Interesting.
These are shoes.
I knew she was there.
Interesting.
Oh, coy.
Do they look halfling size or human size?
No,
Is there
these
anything
are-
just
These are human-sized prints.
Okay.
And there is really not that much distinctive about them.
Well, looks like we're going to have a stakeout.
Mhm.
Well, okay.
Unless
I'll order out for steak, and then we'll go out and something.
Yeah.
we can never resist puns. It's just the way we are.
Mhm. It was
No, we
literally
can't.
about to say, I'll prepare the steak.
I mean, you can't go on a stakeout on an empty stomach.
No, you can't.
Your stomach is going to gurgle and give away your position.
Yeah, that's why the horse keeps filling up with those Chinese food cartons.
That's how that works.
Mhm. Rather than the puns, I guess I go more for the absurdity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with this new tidbit and the introductions to a few new people around town, what are you doing?
Well, I think we'll go around and schmooze with various people in the town while surreptitiously looking to see what kind of footprints they leave.
We're going to make a plaster cast and compare people's footwear.
I don't know if plaster has been invented yet, or if that technique has been invented. Well, except for making walls.
Okay, if it can be used to make walls, I bet it's been put to other uses, like simple statuary, and that means making casts of things.
Right.
Yep.
So if you want to get a plaster cast of the shoe prints, Kentok can probably set you up with some plaster.
Mhm.
And I'm going to need another investigate roll from somebody. Because getting the plaster set up is all very well and good, but someone's got to pour it, and someone's got to be careful and non-destructive with it.
That's not my bailiwick, but I bet Jilly would be great at it.
And
because
once
it's like
again, that's
pouring
something
cakes.
someone else should do.
That's like preparing food. I think that's a
Oh,
Jilly thing.
Actually, I can't use my 17 for that because that would be inactive.
Right, this is very much an active task.
This isn't walking by and noticing stuff.
This is not just walking by and pouring plaster into a footprint and saying, there. Yeah.
Yes. Hold on. There's a footprint. Da-da.
Coy, that was your roll?
Holy cow.
I know, right?
That's impressive.
So basically, while
While you're
Chili's thinking about how to approach it, Koi just walks up and does it perfectly.
right now, what kind of dragon is Koi derived from again?
The best.
So, fire breath.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because I had
the habanero pizza for lunch.
Because I have this image of Jilly standing there in front of a bucket of plaster, doing some squats to get ready for the pouring. Then picking up the bucket, looking over, and seeing that Warren has not only poured the plaster out into the shoe prints, but he is breathing on it and has them halfway to dry.
Yeah.
That's just cheating.
I don't think plaster dries so much as hardens because it's a chemical reaction.
Is that so?
Yeah.
You can speed up most chemical reactions with heat.
Which is sort of my understanding.
I love it.
So it's going to be a little. So it's still going to be a little while, but you're going to have what look like decent prints from these shoes. Still raises the question: what are you doing? How are you spending the rest of your day?
So, should we check out that new tavern we were told about? There are bound to be all kinds of rumors we haven't heard yet.
Well,
Sounds fine.
after this bit of unease, I could use a drink. Sure.
Yeah, and I'm totally not using this as an excuse to try out new food.
It's okay. You
Julie,
don't need to make an excuse. You
I'm
can
not
just do
sure
it.
if you're aware, but when you say something like that in that voice, it makes it sound like you're saying you don't want to eat new food, but you actually do.
Huh. I hadn't considered that, she says very sarcastically.
Funny thing.
Indeed. You've read my mind. Let's go.
I thought that spell was higher level.
Which
Quite
spell?
possibly.
That's your sandwich is gross.
Mind-reading paladins would be a scary, scary thing. You!
Now I'm now thinking about how to build that class.
Yeah.
You thought a bad word. There, you just did it again.
Done right, I think it could be even more terrifying than that.
Wow. The last thing you want is mind-reading inquisitors. Holy shit.
Ah, yes. Our chief weapon is surprise. Surprise and telepathy.
Yes.
Surprise.
On the other hand, maybe mind-reading inquisitors would be quick to find the actual
And quick to rule out the
black
innocent
magicians,
Mhm.
and therefore maybe mind-reading inquisitors would
Everybody's guilty of something.
much better than
Oh, yeah.
those.
It's perfect as long as you get ones that don't abuse their power.
But when is
I'm
that
sure
gonna
there would
happen?
no temptation to abuse
Yeah,
their
so-
power.
That, but I mean, power corrupts.
Mhm. And you could have a field day with that. Whew. this person's about to betray me? Suddenly, I'm very aware that they're a witch. Challenge my power.
Are you sure you want to keep giving me ideas for future sets?
Oh, God.
Yes.
Shutting my mouth now.
I trust you.
Oh, you shut your mouth. I'm just making popcorn.
So, yeah, I'm at the tavern ordering a steak sandwich.
So let's establish a little more of the scene. Okay, this is another part. This is another part of town you're going to. It's on the other side of several of those farms. It's on the other side of. It's on the other side from the Cask and Berry farm, from Cloverfield farm, the one that has all those greenhouses. The Dance of Spring farm, where you've been for that, where you went for that bean feast.
Oh yeah, bean feast.
The Broadleaf farm, and you get out finally to a two-story inn. It has stables. It has a sign hanging over the doorway of a big oval with what looks like a keg tap in the middle of it, just by itself, and what look like rays coming off of it in all directions.
The shining spigot.
There's another sign next to the door that says Newberry's Keg Tap.
Ah, yes.
Classy. I like this place.
Oh, I think this is where I'm going to spend lots of time. I boldly stride in.
You boldly stride in, and there is a gentleman carrying 4 tankards over to a table, having a bit of a chat with the people there, and then going back to the bar. There is also a woman there behind the bar, lining up more tankards to carry out. And sort of behind her, against a back wall, against probably more back wall than you would expect an inn to need, there are 7 enormous casks of something.
Probably alcoholic.
Almost certainly.
It'd be really disappointing if it wasn't.
And then the woman over behind the bar looks over at you and says, "Oh, hey, yeah, you came in with 11 else, didn't you? Come on over."
Yes, we did. Thank you. So, tell me about your wonderful casks. They're beautiful.
Oh yeah, well, Newberry's Keg Tap, name's based on a true story, by the way, has a, I call it a respectable selection of liquors and, well, liquors. She points over to the bottles on the other side of her, and beers. We have 4 different beers on tap. A mead, an ale that is kind of rough and might be an acquired taste.
Guys, this place is stocked.
Sophia is just in heaven right now. You guys, he has the biggest, dumbest grin on his face. He's just like, beer heaven.
Yes.
Another thing about that section of the inn, the ceiling is fully 10 feet tall there, and the casks are sort of stacked 4 on the bottom, 3 on the top. Each one is about 4 feet high, and 5 or 6 deep. 5 or 6 feet deep, that is.
Fantastic. Yeah, Jilly's looking pretty blissed out too.
If we were ever under siege, this would be the place to be.
That's amazing. I'm going to order a sampler of all the beers for all of us, and I want to try that acquired taste ale.
Okay. Wow. Okay,
The
that's
same thing.
wow. That's a little of everything for 7 people.
Mhm.
Party time. She grabs a tray and starts piling up smaller tankards on one tray. Does a quick count. Digs up a second tray. Does a quick count. Digs up a third tray and then starts piling those little tankards on all of them.
Tankard pyramid.
No, no, she's not stacking them just in case.
Right.
Jilly
Too
looks like she's in absolute heaven,
Mm-hmm.
and then she kind of looks back and starts counting, and her frown starts to appear. Coins. How many coins?
Really, I've got it.
Well, I don't charge as much for the sampler because you're getting a little of everything. I don't want you getting smashed on all of them at the same time because otherwise, how will you know what you like?
Oh,
So just starting you off with
Oh.
smaller portions of the everything, and then if you find one you especially like, you can get fucked up on that.
Sampler tray.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
He's invented the sampler tray.
She's kind of had the concept already because she is going through grabbing tankards 4 or 5 at a time and filling them in rapid succession from the taps.
I like this place.
Yeah. Wow.
You should start a franchise.
Oh, this one place is enough for me, she says, already on the third cask and filling another run.
Mm.
That's another reason she doesn't stack them up. She doesn't want one dripping into another and influencing your taste.
Oh,
Guys,
nobody cares.
She knows her stuff.
this place is classy.
David, I
Yes?
casually glance around at feet for roughly the size and shape of the plaster cast.
Okay.
And
This is
mention
cool.
what I am doing to both the druid and paladin,
Yes.
assuming they're near me, and
Yes.
you know, tell others to do the same should you like, so that we can get the word out to the entire table without me just yelling it across the table.
Right.
Sir. Well, I start giving surreptitious glances around, and I'm also. Don't I have a detect spell? I don't. I don't think I do.
No, paladins, I think, get detect evil for free.
Okay, the Paladins Detect Evil in 5th edition is more focused on the supernatural evils.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Like
looking
actual
for it now.
creature evils, because I think they want to avoid a certain amount of that.
Yeah.
Aha! Evil character in party problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think it might still be nice to do a sweep for supernatural evil because while I don't find any,
No, this is what I
finding
think
one
of.
would be a surprise.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, let me. Okay. Divine sense. The presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total
Yeah.
cover.
I've got it right here in front of me.
Right. I was
Right
sort of
here
waiting for
at
those on a
D&D Beyond on my character sheet. It's pretty great.
film.
this episode brought to you
Thank you.
by.
Thank you, Sam.
So brought to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. D&D Beyond. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then I'm going to kind of, I think Sierra's like, oh, I should use the back at the house. And I'm going to open up my senses.
I'll
Okay.
remind you to do that later, now that I know.
Okay, so Saphir opens her sinuses. Wait, senses. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
indeed I do.
And within 60 feet of where you're sitting, at least as far as the, or at least as far as the inn's walls, you're reading clean. Most of the people in here are farmers from the area and have boots or lower quality shoes that don't quite fit the shoes. Those were better quality.
I lean over to Jilly and whisper to her, "No one here has wicked shoes, Jilly.
Hmm.
In fact,
You know.
everybody here, if they are wicked, it's just normal, everyday wicked. Not that we can rule that out. In fact, I think that's probably more likely at fault than any sort of, my sort of thing."
Wiggity whack? No, just regular whack.
Mhm.
No, seriously,
Regular
like,
type.
he's just like, being a peeping Tom is not a fiend thing. That's just an asshole
It's
thing.
just a regular.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
if I gotta break
thing.
some motherfucker's legs, like, he's thinking, like, this is just some asshole.
Yeah.
He did, and he's like, I think it's probably just someone of the town taking too keen an interest in their new contests.
Mm.
Still,
Speaking of people in the town,
rudeness should definitely be, and he cracks his knuckles, discouraged.
what can you tell me? Being new here, I
Mhm.
don't know the people very well, but what can you tell me about, and insert name of the Countess's guest here, I say to the tavern keeper.
Oh, Ms. Celebre.
Mhm.
Very active in the community.
You mean she has a busybody?
I won't. Very proper, very prim. I won't hear a word against her for my safety. Yeah.
Mm.
And she
Nope.
brings the first tray out and starts setting little tankards in front of everybody. They're kind of cute.
Oh, beautiful.
And the beers range from pale to almost black. Then you have that mead, which is
Yes.
kind of punchy but still flavorful.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Punchy, but still much like myself. Ha
Yeah, she brings out the second tankard with more beer, and I believe there is. I've forgotten everything I listed. Let's see, 4 different beers, a mead.
An ale.
There was a thing that was an
An
acquired
ale.
taste.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
ale is an
ale.
acquired taste.
Ale, the gang's all beer.
Mm.
And the 7th, she looks at tankards for a moment and. Okay, well, she brings over tankards with the 6 of those.
Yeah.
The 7th, she just has little glasses.
Okay.
And those contain, well, basically a fizzy lemonade.
Ah. Why, thank you. That will be refreshing.
We get children in here, too.
That's delicious.
Well, I hope that's not the impression we've given, but this woman, this lovely woman, how?
You mean the proprietress?
No, I'm saying this to her. I'm going back to we're talking about the
Going back to Vanya Celebre, yes.
Yeah, so I'm saying this woman, I sense she is more fond of herself than truly malicious. What do you think?
Well, I can't rule that out.
Well, she didn't approve of myself or my equally toothy companion here.
Well, adventurers
Don't worry
coming.
about that.
adventurers in general coming into town probably give her a little bit of concern. That terrible, terrible concern that she's so famous for.
Huh.
Do you have any idea why she might want a bridge on this side of town?
I'm
can't
sorry?
hear me, Matthew.
Would you have any idea why she would want a bridge? Can I tell her where?
A bridge?
Mm-hmm.
I think she... I'd heard from a woodsman once coming through that she wanted much more of the land around Cephalville accessible. She wants the wilderness around to be tamed.
Huh.
Mm.
Tamed how?
Dangerous animals removed, vegetation cleared out.
Dangerous vegetation cleared out.
Druid's like, oh, bitch.
Yeah, really.
Like what? Poison ivy?
Mm-hmm. Any unattractive or non-flowering plants.
What? So she wants to turn the forest into what? A pretty garden.
Something like, yeah.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a nice public garden for everyone to enjoy, but, well, how are people going to learn about the wilderness and not to die from it if they can't go tromping around?
I actually say, since we've been drinking, I actually say, well, I'm sure the plants don't find her very attractive either.
Yes.
Yeah. How many people listen to her? Does she have a voice in this community? How much do we need to worry?
Well, people listen to her, so that may be cause to worry. I don't want to engage in gossip on her level, but
please.
I will say that she does take a very strong interest in newcomers that come through.
Huh. Has she ever had enough influence to do anyone real harm?
Define real harm.
You know?
She can work hard to embarrass anyone to the point that they have to leave.
Has she ever had anyone run out of town or beaten or tossed in jail or killed?
Not beaten. Hers is more in the way of public sway.
The slow death of shame and loneliness, then. That's hardly better. No, I don't like it.
Which is why I don't speak up against her terribly much, because I'm in the business of business. What's more, I'm in the business of people feeling good, so I generally try to, I talk such talk down, as it were.
Understandable. And, David, did you see my sidebar?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, this isn't going anywhere.
I'm using my my callable 17 on that.
Yeah. Versus we'll make a deceive. Yeah, you do see two of the farmers over there sort of talking in hushed tones about hushed tones and looking occasionally over to your table.
Interesting.
And they just have plain old boots. Incidentally, your hostess and the guy taking tankards around the tables?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be Jody Newbury, the owner and woman working behind the bar. The adept of the keg taps, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
And her server, the gentleman Arden Pieden.
Excellent.
Arden Pieden. I'll type that in chat. Yeah, they do have shoes, more of the sort that you have prints for.
Interesting.
Dun, dun, dun.
Doesn't mean they're them, just that they have similar type shoes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Or
so
either
close. Tom is he buys local.
I'm sorry, you were sort of talking over each other.
I was saying whoever our peeping Tom is, he buys local.
Not impossible.
Hmm.
Just
And
indoor shoes.
So at least he's conscientious.
So he's good for the environment.
Can we rule out either of them based on size?
pardon? Let's see. Yeah, her feet are probably a little small. His are probably closer, but then again, he's medium size, medium build. Those are medium sized shoes. Probably several people around town will fit that approximate size.
Exactly.
Fairly standard.
Bog
Person
standard,
we
in
run
fact.
into who's wearing shoes of any kind. That's our culprit, 100%.
Oh, James, how long have you known me?
Not long enough.
Correlation,
Obviously.
causation. Oh my gosh. People committing the murders are wearing shoes. Shoes must be making people kill.
Since you've been settling in here and sampling, and yeah, that ale is kind of rough.
But in a good way.
Yeah, the lemonade is polite and smooth, and yet still tickles at the edge of your nose. So that's fun too, in its own way. Non-alcoholic though.
I
I've
love the
never
lemonade.
had a beverage described as polite, especially lemonade.
Okay, compared to that ale, the lemonade is a fucking sweetheart.
I like
Few other details. While you're sitting in there sort of taking in the sights and listening for rumors or rumor mongers, three guys come in, take and gravitate immediately toward a table in the back corner and start talking amongst themselves very quietly.
Ooh.
Really now.
That's just generally very suspicious. But what are you going to get them for other than being creepy?
Maybe they have some private news to share. So,
Right.
Speaking in low tones in itself is no bad thing.
Also, I'm going to throw this detail at Argyle.
Ooh.
There is a place of honor reserved behind the bar, where there is a looks like a fine little case with a glasser mica front, clear, polished box around the sides, and a velvet interior that is currently sitting empty.
Oh, great. And interesting.
Just one of those odd little details.
Interesting.
In fact, Argyle, I'll give you that it is about the size of a keg tap. About the size of those ones she's using over at the on the big kegs.
Oh.
But none of those look special, and this case is empty.
Oh, they're missing their special keg tap. So it would seem.
So it would seem.
Hum, hum, hum.
This means something.
Are you pointing this out, Argyle?
Yes.
I will ask our proprietress about this.
It's a simple, straightforward approach. Sometimes it even works. And she'll even come over and say, yeah, we've been in the brewing business for many generations. It's said that one of my ancestors even worked some sort of magic with beer and built a special keg tap.
Oh.
And
It's an interesting bit of family legend, but I've never seen it.
So this is like symbolic?
I don't know, it might be.
I'm going to detect magic on it.
Ho, ho.
And that picks up magic objects within 30 feet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, within 30 feet of you, beside the objects you have on you already, you can pick up, well, let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Magic beer tap.
Well, just under the floorboards of the, just under the floorboards behind the bar, you get an impression of a magical object there, perhaps some sort of potion.
Nice.
Magical lemonade.
Magical potion of some sort.
Behind, under the floorboard.
Yeah, under the
Okay.
floorboards behind the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Also, from that table with the seedy gentleman in the back, 2 magic daggers and 2 healing potions.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's... Huh.
I am not concerned.
Yeah.
Good.
Adventurous.
Yeah, adventurers don't just run around with daggers.
First level adventurers.
Some of
Wait,
them.
are you sharing this in character?
Yes, I'm going to. I'm.
And if so, how quietly? How many drinks have you had?
Those
quietly
guys
you.
have magic.
Okay, 6 of those little tankards equate to about, let's say, 2 of the big tankards, the proper ones that they serve here, when you finally settle on a drink and are ready to commit.
It's a big commitment, though. I can't just commit to one drink.
Well, they have the smaller tankards, too. Nothing wrong with nothing wrong with ordering 6 of the little ones.
Or 6 of the big ones.
Let's be real. Saphir has probably ordered a full tankard of each one of them.
That's entirely possible. Prices are reasonable because she is her own supplier.
Mm-hmm.
Vertical integration.
Yeah, she probably has a bit of brewery in the back where she is doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Does Argyle share what the dudes are carrying?
Yes, saying that I think these are first level adventures because they might be valuable allies.
Oh.
Or foes.
Why not both?
Saphir's got this look on his face like he's mulling something over.
Hirelings
That's
or
interesting.
experience? Hirelings or experience?
That is quite interesting. First, I'm going to buy a pair of farmers some drinks. The 2 gentlemen that we piqued their interest when we started talking about the Countess.
Or not the Countess, the matriarch.
The matriarch, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, the matriarch.
I freely walk over to them and ask them if they want one more of whatever they're drinking.
Oh.
Do you want me to do a charisma or persuasion to make a first impression?
Let's make it persuasion.
Okay.
I have your
Persuade them
sheet
to
up.
drink.
Why, I have your sheet right here.
Okay. So I actually have that and 13. So not great, but not bad.
Not great, but these are guys that like their drink, and you can
Yeah, not
convince
great.
them. Yeah, you
prior
can
to any situational
you
bonus
can-
beer may have.
Yeah. Beer, the great equalizer. Is there anything it can't do?
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't exactly have to twist their arms to get them to accept a drink.
Oh, wonderful. So, I'm trying to find out a bit more about the matriarch. And the tavern keeper has been extremely helpful and perhaps generously kind due to business concerns and equality. But I want to know how she treats the man on the street. And you guys look like the man on the street.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Sure, normally, she doesn't usually have a lot to do with us.
Okay.
She sits there in the house, gives orders to her servants. They give them maybe to their underlings, and they tell us what to do.
Any impressions of her or underlings of note?
Don't get on their bad side.
Mm.
It said she will try to embarrass. She will try to ruin you any way she can. Usually, just getting the community to look down on you is enough.
Mm. Tight community for that, huh? Okay. Good to know. Thank you, gentlemen. Well, I'll be staying here for a while, and let me know if there's anything you want to add.
We'll do that. Thanks.
If you find out more useful information, you may find yourselves earning more drinks or coins.
Coins would be nice.
It would.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll pardon me, I'll be going back to my table now.
Meanwhile,
Keep in touch.
Saphir is gonna slowly get up from the table,
Mm-hmm.
super casually walk over to the adventurers,
Over to the adventurers, yes.
and just sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Give him an up nod. He's not frightened. He's not trying to intimidate, but he is definitely being like, "Hello, the huge pile of the muscle, is also in this room with you." So he's trying to basically see how they react to him just walking over and sitting down, easy as you please.
Pardon. Let's see.
See my muscle.
Gents.
My word! Look at the persuasion on that guy. Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about one of those guys?
No, I'm talking about you, Saphir.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a roll. Let's see how disarming you can be. Not literally.
If they start shit, it's gonna come to that.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 19, so that's
Is that a what, persuasion?
That is.
Yeah.
Wow.
You rolled a
You got
19.
24.
That is a 24.
yeah.
That's impressive.
Nice.
Yeah, my persuasion modifier is a +5.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
All right. Then I actually need to edit my D&D Beyond sheet. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Yep, you're +3 for your charisma, and then
And +2 for proficiency.
exactly.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, they are. Yeah, what can we do for you to this fine day?
I'm curious. One fighter recognizes another, and I see that you two are fighting men. So who are you here to fight?
We don't need to be here to fight anybody. We could be here on basic business.
All right. I mean, sure. Simple, easy life is well enough for those that seek it.
They sort of look between each other. They sort of look between each other knowingly and chuckle at this simple life part.
I'm calling them chicken, just to be clear. I'm kind of being like, I mean, I hadn't taken you two for simple, honest farmers, but if I'm wrong, I could take my drinks order and go.
One of them sort of leans forward a bit and sort of, well, if you didn't know better, you'd say he was intentionally fingering his collar at you.
Uh-huh.
It's quite a vivid streak of purple on that collar, too.
What does that mean?
To you, currently, absolutely nothing. But it's interesting that you look between them and you see a similar splash of very vivid purple on all three of them.
All right.
On
I
their
don't know what this means. Can I roll Arcana or History?
This is going to sound a little crazy, but let's see.
Religion?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I mean,
actually, yeah, tell you what.
Sophisticated man about the world, so.
Okay, tell you what, just roll the die and I'll compare it against the skill you need.
Oh, I like that.
I rolled a 19 again.
Rolled a 19.
Plus whatever I have in that skill.
Whatever you have in that skill. Okay, there is something about that purple that sort of strikes a chord that sort of tickles at the back of your memory.
Okay.
Like maybe this was something something that you should be concerned about, but you can't remember why just at the moment.
But it's nothing obvious. It's nothing like, oh, that's the Assassin's Guild, or
nothing.
Oh, this is a gang.
Nothing that obvious.
All right, is this like a recent thing? Like I'm like, oh, or is it like way back in the foggy memory?
It's kind of more back in the foggy memory.
Okay, so it's something I should be concerned about. So though, I'm curious, and I'm stuck here in town for a while, so humor me. I know that you are not simple farmers, so what are you here to do? Tell me a good story. In a few rounds.
Tell me a good story now.
Tell me a good story. You'll find me not the judging type. As the paladin. That's why it's funny, guys.
I'm fairly certain I'm not there, or I could tell a story.
You went to the tavern with us. I don't think you're at the table.
Well, I was. I mean, the dowager was worried and wanted someone to stay with her. And since I wasn't the best one suited for detective work, I kind of let you guys get to it. Probably stayed back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in that case, I'll have to throw you something else in a minute.
Oh,
two,
don't worry about me. I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
Okay. No, we're not farmers. We are businessmen. We deal with the farmers in the area.
Oh?
Pick up certain valuable crops from them and take them into town.
Profitable crop?
They can be.
Yes, well. What guild are you with? Out of curiosity. Not on the merchant registers, are you?
Not officially.
Don't worry. I'm not here on anyone's business but my own. So, if a man of the world was stuck in lovely, scenic Cephalville and looking to be a little less wholesome than the average farmer, you gents, I suppose, could provide a way forward into that endeavor.
Yeah, we're not from around here. We couldn't really tell you where to get your kicks around here. Sorry.
Do you gents not bring your kicks with you?
Usually we come here on business.
And here I was hoping you were here to start trouble, just as much as I was.
Oh, we want to avoid trouble as much as possible.
The wrong kind of trouble, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
The right kind of trouble, on the other hand. Well,
in this particular case, there's no right kind of trouble.
That is a sad thing, gents. A sad thing.
They're a real businessman.
No, they're not! Ugh!
Oh, yes, they are.
But they're playing the words game with me. And Saphir loses patience with the words game fairly quickly. So he's just kind of like, well, still, next round's on me. And I hope that we shall find each other again. Are you expecting trouble, though, even though you don't bring it? You seem, well...
Prepared?
Prepared.
Yeah. Our line of work, it pays to be prepared.
That line of work...
We need to expect the wrong kind of trouble.
Dealing with farmers. I'm sorry, I need to ask a little bit more. What kind of trouble could...
Do you really need to ask more?
I'm very curious and man of the city stuck in Cephalville. I'm sorry. But you must bear the unfortunate burden of my boredom tonight. Make up for it with drinks, I promise. What trouble could farmers bring to you? Or is there someone else who takes interest in your crop? Someone maybe, I'll say prepared?
They may be on occasion.
On occasion that they should realize you're here.
You must really be bored.
Watch too much Just the Kid. What can I say?
Goodbye.
Rude. Okay, see, I need to buy a feat where, like, if someone's rude to me, I can, like, punish them with divine speed.
Yeah. David,
and I was saying, there's no need for that. I thought we could find something mutually beneficial. If you're in need of protection, I can provide it.
Are you offering them oops insurance?
Maybe.
Nice business you have here. Would be a shame if look at it too closely.
Exactly. Nice skeleton you have there. Shame if somebody broke it. No, I'm not straight up extorting. I would.
Right.
This is more of a roundabout
saying,
way.
like, maybe you shouldn't be rude to me because I am bored and covered in muscles.
New ones just popping up all the time. Look, there's another one on my chin.
Just muscles on top of muscles. It's ridiculous.
So tell you what, if we were to give you 20 gold, would that be enough to keep the wrong kind of trouble away?
Wow.
Start. Wait, is 20 gold a lot, or is that like a pittance?
It's a pretty sizable amount.
It's not bad.
Now, okay, you have been okay. It's a pretty sizable amount to some.
All right.
Given that most places you can get an evening in an inn and a meal for coppers, and those are 1/100ths of a gold.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so to his credit, Saphir does not look surprised or shocked or anything. He goes, "Yeah, that's a good start to keep the wrong kind of trouble away.
Okay.
Always happy to help out honest businessmen." Sure.
On this particular occasion, let's see. Yeah, I'll kick in for this. Yeah, yeah. And they sort of agree, and they sort of chip in a bunch of coins, and they just sort of, and with a sort of expert's hand, he takes a stack of coins and just drops for a stack of 5 in front of you.
These motherfuckers are loaded. They're not like going. They're just like, bam, and they do it up front. So I'm like, gentlemen, for a moment, we have a contract.
Oh, what are you getting
Billy
yourself
wants
into?
to sprint over and be like, and how about a caster for 25? That's a bargain.
Provided, of course, everything you've told me is true, I think we'll have a good time stuck here in Sethville. Enjoy the drinks.
Thank you.
I've got a
I
cute
think
little
that-
halfling that's about to give me a scattering of kisses.
You think?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Someone's
David.
getting baked a pie tonight.
Yeah. Question for you.
Yes.
I asked a question in sidebar because the one area in which my merchant knowledge and my knowledge of the underground world would cross over is legal truffle trade. Are these guys people that I would recognize, or the purple collar something I would recognize for that? Rather,
Guys, up
Truffle smugglers.
Truffle smugglers. Boy, that sounds like it should be dirtier than it is, you know?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
yeah, legal spice trade is pretty wild stuff.
Give me a red laser, I'll be a truffle shooter.
Yeah, there's no illegal truffle trade that you can think of.
Okay.
Because no food item, no commonly available food item draws that kind of attention from law enforcement. Let's put it that way.
But maybe it's not commonly available.
Or maybe it's not food.
Neither.
Or both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to go in on specialist knowledge of rare and exotic foods, just in case that was a thing, since it's such a farm community.
It is very much a farm community, but there is no illegal truffle trade to speak of.
They have a whole cask of Frank's Red Hot.
We have this potion called Sriracha. No one must obtain it.
A potion of Sriracha. I love that.
Some people call it a potion of fire breath, but hey. 20 gold is 20 gold. Exactly.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything while Saphir is chatting up the newcomers? Yes.
While everyone is occupied with something else, I'm going to let ACOG jump over to that area with the floorboards where there's something magical under them. And see if these floorboards are fixed or if they are loose so they can be opened if needed.
Loot.
Okay, so you're sending ACOG over behind the bar to peck around and inspect the floor.
Yes.
Okay. He can do so. He sort of he flaps on over to the bar, then hops on down to the floor. Has a look around. You can hear the pecking sounds. Tap, 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 tap. That one sounded hollow.
Mm-hmm. So what does he say?
Okay, this sounds like something, and there's a nail. So there's a nail sticking up over there. So this doesn't feel like this. This feels like it was put. This feels like it's temporary construction.
Mm-hmm.
And at about that point, Jody Newbury sort of looks down and says, "Mister, you
Yes?
got your bird behind my bar."
Oh, sorry. Come here, ACOG.
Elfin Safety would have a field day.
And I let him fly back to me.
Yeah, he flies up to a shelf on top of the then up on top of the velvet box on the wall, and then back over to your shoulder.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give him some pieces of bread or something, so that people understand that this is just a nice little raven.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing more, nothing.
Yeah, and
So-
ACOG tells you, yeah, I think it's a trapdoor, but it's nailed down. Someone doesn't recognize its potential, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone just
Okay.
thought it was loose floorboards.
Maybe.
So whatever is down there has been there all this time and they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how we could get to it without being upfront and annoying.
Okay, then I'm going to try something. And ACOG flies back over to the bar,
Mm-hmm.
hops down to the floor again, and you can't see what he's doing, but you can hear the occasional click, 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 click. Sounds like he's beaking something.
Yeah, I'm going to order something in that time, so he is undisturbed in what he's doing. So
Okay, so probably a full tankard of something.
no, something to eat. I'm going to let her describe what's on the menu to eat.
Well, she needs 4 or 5 different things on the menu to complement the stuff she has in the kegs.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have stuff ranging from a fairly mild chicken dish to a beef dish served in a manner that could best be described as rural brutalism.
Okay.
I can't even picture what that's supposed to mean.
So I'm going to think about it, and so ACOG gets a little time for whatever he does.
Yeah, so from chicken piccata down to beef literally grilled on the coals, which is the thing.
In the end, I think I'm going to settle for the chicken, whatever, but with
which pairs with the lighter bear.
Yes.
And so she can get to working on that.
Cooked over napalm.
The rack of
Yeah,
lamb
she
is
can
better
work on
for some of
that.
the rack of lamb is better for some of the darker beer, and she goes back to work on that. And the gentleman comes behind the bar to do one or two things. Doesn't pay a cock any attention, and then goes over and taps a few more drinks and gets them out of the tables as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Acock is saying, "Yep, 2 nails, definitely holding down a trapdoor."
Okay. Two nails. I'm really, I really want to know what is down there. Mage hand, I would need to see
Yeah,
what I'm
mage.
doing.
Yeah, I don't think mage hand will pull these up. These nails are in. Let's see how much force mage hand can
I wonder if
deliver.
Knock would do it.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's-
knock is extremely loud. I want to be.
And these things are nailed in, not merely locked.
Yeah, but that might work. I mean, what's life without a little excitement?
Quieter.
Also boring. And you see where that got Saphir.
Yeah, the hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. Probably can't pull up nails. Now let's check the knock spell.
No, I'm definitely not going to knock because that is loud. The unseen servant, maybe.
Unseen servant, I don't think has the capacity either. But let's have a look.
I think Knock would actually do it, though. I mean, aside from being noisy.
Oh,
The way it's written seems to suggest that it would work on a door that is nailed shut.
Yeah, that's.
Let's have a look at that.
Because it's a door. It's an object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access, meaning nailed shut.
Mm-hmm.
If it's shut by a lock or stuck or barred, so I mean, it's moving things to make a door open.
If the object has multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked.
So maybe one nail shoots out.
Ooh.
Maybe.
The second time another nail shoots out.
And then
That
we
would
are
be
going
funny.
to be thrown out of here. Damn it.
So how quietly do you think you could work with a pry bar up your pants leg? This is not a euphemism.
Or are you happy to see me?
Huh. But I have alter self. Well,
You could turn into Edward Crowbar hands.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can make your fingernails like really hard claws.
Yeah.
Probably
Right.
pull a nail out that way.
Yep.
Edward Crowbar hands. That's a great idea.
I think I'm going to try that.
Okay, does this mean you're going to go behind the bar?
I have to. There's no other way to get there. So I'm going to say, I'm going to.
If it were me, I'd sneak back in after closing. But
Oh, they have
between you and God.
they have rooms here too, so they're an inn.
Okay.
If it were me, I would suggest to deal with them to say, hey, if I can find some amazing treasure here, can I have it for half cost? Because if I don't tell you where it is, you'll never get it. But if I do tell you, you get some money that you otherwise wouldn't have had. Get him to agree to that, and then you're good.
But what if it's? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take a room here for the night and try to get to it in the night. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Cast your strength on Acock and just tell him to fly back with a nail.
Cast strength.
Do you have strength?
I have the one that gives you bonus attributes. Yeah, Let me see what it's called again. Enhance ability. And
So you can make that a very strong raven.
I can make that a supernaturally strong raven, which would really raise some eyebrows.
Can you cast spells through ACOG?
I can, yes.
You might be able. If you're talking about a knock spell on the nail down.
No, not a knock spell. That's awfully loud. It makes a loud noise that's heard 5 houses over.
You should wait until nighttime to cast that when people are asleep, and then they won't hear it.
And everybody is thrown out of bed because of the noise. It's really nothing for sneaky purposes. Not a spell for rogues. I'm just going to take the room, and at night I'm going to look for the loo and open this thing.
Okay.
And see what's in it.
That's for later this evening. Is anyone else up to any mischief today?
Not unless they have one of those. If you can eat this 96-ounce steak, you and your party eat for free.
I would like to make a persuasion check to see if I can sell them any food, like my ices.
Wow.
Is that viable?
Oh, that's viable. So give me a persuasion roll on that.
I rolled a 19.
Oh, very good.
You have to use a luck to do that.
You did have to. You did have to use a luck.
Yep, I used one of my lucks. So then I rolled a 19. Yeah, because I rolled a 8, and I was like,
probably not going to work. Yeah.
But
okay, she's curious, all right.
The 19 plus the bonus for persuasion plus the bonus for charisma is 24.
Oh, and yeah, you definitely got Jody curious with that.
Yeah, and show her a drinksicle. And, just say, imagine coming home, hot, sweaty, hard day at work, and there's this refreshing treat. Clink!
It's an idea. Can you do that with lemonade?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
One of my favorite tricks is to do this with lemon juice.
Yeah.
Your special lemonade. Oh, that would be particularly good, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. So you start talking business about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I won't belabor the point. The upshot is you're going to get, let's call it 20 gold out of that.
Whoa!
Wow.
Dang.
This is the kind of business she wants. And she is glad to have it. Of course, that does mean you have to give her a fairly good supply, and she has an ice house.
I'll be casting the cantrip for a while.
You were breaking up a little bit there. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, I was just saying I'll cast my Ray of Frost cantrip many, many times.
Mm-hmm. So good practice, that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what I was thinking. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll have one.
I will make you one.
So over time, you managed to fill Newberry's keg tap with slushies.
Mm-hmm.
Slushies and granitas.
Yep. Not gonna lie, my mouth just watered at that.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Delicious.
Okay, let's see. So that's what's happening over at the keg tap. I'm guessing Argyle is going to get the room at that night.
Mm-hmm.
And before we advance the clock further, I am going to throw a certain amount of... yeah, John, you're back at the estate.
Yeah. I've been telling entertaining but educational stories to the young heiress.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it's worth, I rolled 15 on my... got 15 on my persuasion roll.
Okay.
My performance roll, I mean.
Mm-hmm. So you've actually got a...
That's just for flavor.
Right. So yeah, you can very much keep her at least somewhat entertained.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a point at which Ladislas needs your help with some of the... pardon me. Loudrum needs your help pulling up some of the old plants.
Oh, sure.
Hmm?
My pleasure. So I go on down and brace myself for the ambush, just in case. I am a desert barbarian, after all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this kind of gardening. If the people in your tribe saw you doing this now, they'd probably laugh.
Well, hey, I am to please. If it entertains them, so much the better. I'm a bard. It's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, you are helping because he has some new plantings for the area.
Yep.
And you can get those done, and you can get back inside. It appears Candace has not moved from that spot, but she seems visibly shaken.
What
Oh,
again?
you failed.
Now, okay.
No, that's what I do. As soon as I see that, I say that again.
No, I'm all right. No, nothing happened. She said, but give me an insight check.
Oh, okay. An insight check.
An insight check.
Come on, you. Where is that character sheet? There it is. Insight is, right, of course, wisdom. That's another thing I'm not good at.
You still have something.
I got no clue. She says she's all right. I guess she must be. I got a total of 5. And I look around where she's sitting. Where would it have been easy to see a window?
Well, she would have seen you outside in the garden, and she's also sitting in view of another window.
Oh, so she would have seen me outside in the garden, and there's
She would
another.
have seen you outside, and there's another window off to the right where she could have been looking out.
I'll just walk over to that window and look out.
Give me a perception check.
Now here we go.
Indeed.
Perception, come on.
Which is based on wisdom.
Great, of course, of course. Oh, well, that's better. 19.
19. Okay, you're looking out there, and well, today at least it's a fairly clear day, and you're not seeing anything out there that would have caused fear. You're looking out in the distance. You sort of crane up and look down in front of the window, and you're not seeing anything there.
Right. Well, first thing I would have done is check for prints outside the window on the ground. failing that, look further out. But
Well, no, the very first thing you said you were doing was going to the window to check, and I guess you're actually opening the window to look out and look down and look for prints.
yeah,
Yeah, you are not seeing prints. You don't see any footprints you don't see any fresh footprints in evidence outside the window or in the distance.
okay. So I close it, and there doesn't seem to be anything odd outside.
Doesn't seem to be anything odd outside.
When I do, I sort of head back in and just kind of look around. Anything else that seems out of place in the room?
You're not seeing anything.
And I'm listening too.
And you're listening, and you're not hearing anything either.
Okay, I'm going to go with persuasion. Try and get her to talk about whatever it is that she said she was all right.
She said she was all right.
And my insight check was really low, so
You don't seem to have any reason to believe her,
I
but
don't really have any reason to
she
believe
seems,
that there's some.
but she seems shaken by something.
Yes. She did seem shaken by something. I'll just sort of just chat a little bit, try and get her to relax, and kind of maybe try and make her feel safe and maybe a little bit readier to talk about whatever it is. Something shook her.
Something.
I could tell that much.
Right. But you just can't. Oh, there goes James.
Well,
But you couldn't identify what?
I couldn't identify what, but I'm just going to try and get her to feel ready to talk about it.
Okay, there he is.
Whoops.
We lost you there for a moment, James.
Indeed.
Yeah, she listens. You get the feeling she wants to relax. Give me a performance roll.
Performance or persuasion?
Performance in this case.
In this case, performance. Well, it's the same either way.
Right. And don't
I'm
forget.
at +6 there, and oh crap. Well, I got a 13.
And she says, "No, please don't worry about it. It's going to be fine."
If you say so, I say with a tone of doubt in my voice, but not actually, but I don't press.
Please don't let yourself be troubled.
Quite all right.
That's the only major incident that happens at the house, but it has put the cat among the pigeons, hasn't it?
Well, it has raised the danger flag just a little bit.
And so in the evening, let's see, we have where is everybody staying this evening? We have Argyle at Newberry's Keg Tap.
You can follow the rest of them for as long as it takes. Well, once I know who comes back.
Right. I think that's going to be everybody, ultimately. Unless people are staying over at the Bowl.
I was planning on camping outside the manor house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was planning on staying at the new the keg tap.
Okay,
do I have line of sight from my room to the manor house?
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
Yes, it's a small town, but things are far enough apart that spying on each other that casually, not something you can do.
Okay.
No casual spying.
Well, not that casual. Okay, so we have Argyle and Tess. No, we have Argyle and Jelly at Newberry's Keg Tap. We have Saria parked outside Lavenel Manor. Who else is there?
Warren's parked outside as well.
Okay, Warren's out there as well. So I see now.
Somewhere around there, probably someplace that's like hidden from view of the window, but where I can get to it quickly if I need to.
Okay. So you're taking up a position more strategic in order to catch someone who might be at the window.
Yes.
Let's see. This leaves Saphir. Where is he parked this evening?
Are you there, Shu?
She could be enjoying her mac and cheese now. Shu? Gooey! Okay, so at the moment we have at the manor house we have Thagak inside, Saria, Warren, and Tess all outside in various places, and Jilly and Argyle at the keg tap.
Yes.
Right. And it might be appropriate to call it here or keep going.
Well, let's see.
Unless-
I think maybe I will call it here, if only because there is something I'm looking up, and me flipping through a book is just bad YouTube.
Yeah, well, it's not the worst YouTube I've seen, I should tell you that.
I know.
He shudders and crouches down and doesn't look at anybody. The things I've seen.
Showers with wire brush. Yeah.
Yes.
Will never become clean. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe not that bad.
Okay, then.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's that.
We're going to call that for the episode this week, and
Mm-hmm.
you've learned a little bit more about your community.
Yes. And I've learned.
And yet questions keep arising.
Yes.
Okay. Should we do my nighttime adventure in writing, or should we do it next time?
We're going to take it up the top of next session.
Okay.
Right. Do I know, by the way, that Warren is camping outside, or?
I would imagine that at some point in the evening, you'd be all inside for dinner, and
Right.
Andros is doing the cooking. He's not bad.
Right.
Yeah, his technique could use a little polish. But he's okay.
Right. Well,
And you can probably discuss all your plans over that dinner.
Okay, is Warren the only other party member currently at the manor house, or is somebody else?
Nope, you would have Saria and Tess there as well.
Okay, well, I guess Saria, I should mention this too. Saria is the one with the charisma and stuff like that, and the wisdom about how something upset the dowager, but she didn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
No, it was Candace that was upset.
Candace, right? Oh, Candace. Oh, it was Candace. Something upset Candace, and I was just outside that window, weeding the garden. There's that other window too, but I don't know if it was something seen through one of the windows or something not seen, or something seen inside. But she was upset about something, didn't want to talk about it. I decided not to push too hard, but just so you know.
Okay.
It would have been between this time and this time. So that much, I tell you that much, and I guess that's it for the day.
Yep.
Let's see. Meanwhile, at Newbury's Keg Tap, there is a good crowd in for dinner. And she announces that one of the kegs, that of the dark beer, is just about empty, and they're going to have a new drink in place tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Delicious drink of murder.
Now I want to make a set named that. Thanks.
You're welcome. There's a freebie for you.
And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast.
Bye, all.
Good night, everybody.